The assist of a century.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Associated Guests. I, as always, am your host, Alfie Animus, here at the Bear in Mind channel. And today, hold on, I've got the news playing in the background. Royalty-free music. Okay, sorry. Today, the assist of the century, and then the story of Anita Sarkeesian, Crash and Burn with the Critical Drinker. We'll get a couple of previews going. We'll see Diddy Piker on Charlemagne the God's pod. Some evil bitch from the Charlie Kirk days comes back, and she's bigger than ever. And then basically just a couple of stories, if there's time, about people being fucking monsters. But let's start off with something lighthearted.
What's that?
Right foot green.
It's friendship right there. It's true friendship.
So stupid.
The power.
Oh my god.
When it comes to video game crash and burns, they really don't get much more spectacular than this one. It would be no exaggeration to say that Anita Sarkeesian was one of the most influential, divisive, and widely hated figures in the whole industry. A name that's practically become the Lord Voldemort of the gaming world now, instantly conjuring up memories of bitter online culture wars, horrifyingly unlikable girl bosses, DEI struggle sessions, corporate mandated activism, and of course, absolutely shameless on.
And again, this is someone who claimed to be a victim, and she was seen before, what was it, the UN? She spoke to the UN about online bullying in video games specifically. And this person was a victim. This person made up bullshit where there was none. And I will say one of her co-conspirators is at least grifting the other side now. But hey, CD Projekt Red, I'm always available for consulting because I'm sure sounds like you might need it before the whole of the internet drags you for what sounds like some potentially sexist representations, which we all know you've struggled with in the past. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Who cares? Who cares? Okay, and now CD Projekt Red has had some zingers, let me tell you. They've got a lot of faces that look like this that working for them now.
Online grifting. A woman who once spoke in front of the United Nations, who had major studios bending over backwards to accommodate her, the entire legacy media apparatus.
She went on Colbert? I forgot about that.
Trying to prop her up, and a river of money all flowing her way. Then, it all kind of fell apart when everyone collectively realized she was completely full of shit, knew practically nothing about the things she presumed to lecture.
And in this video, she says that she actually didn't know anything about video games. She had to learn a lot about this. And every time you hear her talk about what her experience with video games is, she shows a picture of her with a Nintendo when she was young. And oh my god, and she shows herself with a stack of video games from various different consoles. You can tell that she's never played any of them.
Industry pros and lifelong fans about, and her involvement in most major gaming projects was a kind of reverse Midas touch, turning gold into shit and profit into massive losses.
Anthem. Remember Anthem? It was supposed to be the Destiny killer, and it was pretty much just a mediocre to shitty Iron Man simulator.
So join me, your humble critical gamer, as we explore the crash and burn of Anita Sarkeesian. Anita was born in Toronto, Canada in 1983, the daughter of Iraqi Armenians who moved
she's
to the
older
country
than me.
back in the 70s. After finishing high school, she moved to California to...
My god. And don't get me wrong, this haircut works for a lot of people. The reverse mullet, it works for a lot of people. Not for you, eyebrows.
Studied communications before moving
Very
on to
90s.
York University, where she earned a master's degree in social and political thought in 2010. Already, her preoccupation with gender and identity politics was pretty obvious with her final thesis, I'll Make a Man Out of You, Strong Women in Science Fiction and Fantasy Television.
Jesus.
While finishing up her degree, she launched the website Feminist Frequency, dedicated to analysing media from a feminist perspective, where she did groundbreaking work like applying the Bechdel test, a widely debunked tool whose own creator admitted that it was done purely.
By the way, this overly simplistic brand that she had here was very highly funded for videos like this.
For laughs, to the Best Picture nominees in 2012, and breaking down the gender stereotyping in Lego bricks. Yup, I'm being serious here. None of this made too much of an impact, but it did open up a new avenue for
pretty
grifting.
quiet.
Sorry, media analysis.
No, grifting's
and
correct.
That avenue was video games, a rapidly growing industry catering to a largely male audience and making absurd amounts of money in the process.
Hold on, it's what's quiet? The video, me, both.
And
yeah, let me
that
turn it up a
clearly
little bit.
was something that needed correcting. In May 2012, Anita launched a Kickstarter campaign to fund a YouTube video series called Tropes vs. Women in Video Games, where she would break down various harmful stereotypes and depictions of women in gaming and how they could be fixed.
Over the course of this series, I will be offering critical analysis of many popular games and characters. But please keep in mind that it's both possible, and even necessary, to simultaneously enjoy a piece of media while also being critical of its more pernicious aspects.
What?
And the fact that she would say such things, like she had a whole video about how Batman's cape, or capes in general, that are draped from the shoulders down the back, covered Batman's ass and you couldn't see it. She's like, oh, but this other character, you can see her ass, but why can't you see? She's the reason why they changed Tracer's design in Overwatch early on. Like, it's... anyway.
Why exactly do you need funding to create the kind of videos that most content creators can make themselves for nothing? Don't know.
Exactly.
Just don't worry about where the money went. Either way, the campaign was a massive hit and ended up raising over $150,000, and Tropes vs. Women rolled ahead with its first episode, Damsels in Distress, that came out the following year. Yeah, it was mostly superficial, highly biased, and easily debunked analysis of cherry-picked examples stripped of context, usually from games that had been made decades earlier, and tossed together with the kind of word salad that could only come from a political science degree, but what the fuck? It was exactly what the legacy news media were desperate for, a chance to shame and browbeat an industry that had mostly gone unchallenged until now. The New York Times even called it essential viewing for anyone interested in video games, and one of their
Spoken like someone who's never played a video game.
journalists even tried to call out Nintendo's Shigeru Miyamoto about the damsels in distress trope in the Mario games. His response? I haven't given it a lot of deep thought over the years. Fucking based.
Very
Not
nice.
everyone was riding the feminist frequency bandwagon though. As it turned out, Anita and her series had blundered right into the middle of the biggest online culture war of all time, Gamergate. Now, there's already like 1 million videos explaining this topic in way more depth than I ever could. The short version is that people began to notice that certain indie game developers were getting a suspicious amount of positive coverage from mainstream gaming outlets, which led to accusations of corruption, bias, and even sexual favors in games journalism, and eventually exploded into an all-out backlash against the creep of identity politics and feminism in gaming. And
this is literally what started a lot of the identity politics that we see now, is these three bitches in particular: Anita Sarkeesian, Zoe Quinn, and Brianna Wu.
Hardcore, man. Doxing, threats, harassment campaigns, mass flagging, review bombing, even criminal charges. It was all kicking off, and pretty soon the Tropes vs. Women series became another major target, along with its creator. Now, it goes without saying that I do not endorse this kind of shit in the slightest.
Of course not.
Criticizing a person's ideas is perfectly fine, but actually threatening harm on them in the real world is something very fucking different.
But let's be real. We all get this. If anyone says anything remotely controversial online, you get this kind of stuff. I've gotten this kind of stuff even before I started really putting anything on the channel. It's just kind of what you get when you piss people off. It doesn't make it right? Of course not. It's disgusting and nobody should do it. However, it happens to all of us, and the mute button exists.
Either way, though, Anita was able to spin all of this to her advantage with
Or just don't read your
sympathetic news
comments.
coverage and even an appearance at the UN to speak about online harassment. Now, if you were a tinfoil hat enthusiast, you might even suggest that she courted this kind of online controversy and baited people into harassing her to prove her own point and portray herself as a brave victim.
Or she had people on fake accounts do the harassment for her.
Standing up to the online mob so she can milk all that sweet sympathy and donation money. But you know, that's just crazy talk. Before you could say gassed up mid, though, Anita and her Tropes series was the toast of the town in media circles, garnering millions of views, attending major speaking events, TED Talks, video game conferences, and basically anyone
Tens
that
of
would have
people
her.
are excited
Suddenly
about
confronted
this.
by this tidal wave of media scrutiny and profit-threatening criticism, the gaming industry reacted exactly like you'd expect. They folded like a house of cards, and before you knew it, Anita was being touted as the new savior of gaming, the bringer of light and truth who was going to drag the industry away from sweaty teenage boys and horny middle-aged men.
Well, she certainly dragged it away from profit.
And into a more enlightened era of diversity and inclusion.
You sure about that? You sure about that? You sure about that?
However, all was not well. The Tropes vs. Women series that had started with such fanfare in 2013 was rapidly losing momentum. Views dropped off sharply from 2015 onwards and never really recovered, and the pace of uploads slowed down drastically, with only 2 episodes getting released in 2017 before the whole thing ground to a halt. Wow, that was $150,000
Which is...
well spent, wasn't it?
I was going to say $150,000 only churned out 2 very low quality videos.
Anita's claim of being a lifelong gamer took a bit of a hit when footage emerged of her running a workshop back in 2010, giving a very different story.
It's a soundtrack of one song, except I'm doing video games. So it's not exactly a fandom. I'm not a fan of video games. I actually had to learn a lot about video games in the process of making this.
You serious?
It also turns out that mainstream media support is a fickle mistress, and if you don't have an actual fan base there to lift you up, pretty soon you're going to disappear into obscurity. And well, that's exactly what happens. A VidCon panel that she hosted in 2017 turned into a complete disaster when almost nobody showed up except her own detractors, and she spent most of the event raging against them and dodging their questions.
Yeah, and they were very respectful. Most of them, except for I think one, went up there and asked her basic questions. No gotchas, just asking questions about all the bullshit that she spews.
By 2019,
it was
desperate for
glorious.
money and relevance,
Chris Raygun was there, Sargon was there, God, all of them. I think Mudahar might have been there.
tried to publicly blackmail CD Projekt Red into a consultancy gig on their upcoming game Cyberpunk 2077, saying, "Hey CD Projekt Red, I'm always available for consulting because it sure sounds like you might need it before the whole of the internet drags you for what sounds like some potentially sexist representations, which we all know you've struggled with in the past."
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
It was the social media equivalent of a protection racket. "Hey buddy, nice game you got there. Be a real shame if something was to happen to it, know what I mean?" Needless to say, it didn't work. CD Projekt Red and any other developers still interested in turning a profit avoided her like the plague, and by the early 2020s, the culture had shifted, Gamergate and most of its major players had faded from relevance, and feminist frequency was fading with it.
But they still ended up kind of fading because, again, if you've seen anything that CD Projekt Red has put out,
See,
as far as words to the public,
it turns out that watching a bunch of bored, frumpy, middle-aged spinsters prattling on about media they barely understand wasn't a big hit with audiences.
Imagine.
Views plummeted, interest waned, and in 2023, Anita announced that she was shutting down feminist frequency for goods. The official excuse was burnout and exhaustion. The real reason? No.
Burnout and exhaustion from doing nothing except for tanking the video game industry, or at least anyone that she was involved with.
Nobody was fucking watching it. So where exactly is she now? Well, in 2023, she made headlines when she celebrated her 40th birthday by holding a wedding ceremony where she married herself.
Really?
She's really bulked up like the girl we'll get to later.
Oh my god, that might be the saddest thing I have ever heard. Honestly, I can't think of a better metaphor for modern day feminism than a single, childless, middle-aged woman marrying herself. From a career standpoint, she still kind of exists as this shadowy figure on the fringes of the games industry, limping along with the occasional consulting gig on small-time indie projects, but her days as an industry-leading cultural icon are long gone. Looking back on it now, she was really just someone who happened to be in the right place at the right time, able to weaponize controversy and ride the cultural wave that came with it for a few years. A person with many supporters but few fans, who ultimately outlived her own relevance. That being said, the influence that she had on video games is arguably still being felt to this day. Like it or not, Anita Sarkeesian made her mark on the games industry, and it was not a pretty one.
Just like her.
Anyway, that's all I've got for today. Go away now.
Yeah, Anita Sarkeesian, she is
There's someone here I want you to meet.
basically the bane. She was the bane of most anti-Gamergate YouTubers in the early to mid 2010s. And she's... she has had an effect on the landscape, and it still shows to this day. In the fact that pretty much all gaming studios are starting to look like that picture from Huffington Post from about 10 years ago, where it's, hey, look at, we're all women here. All white women but one, but all women. Because equality and diversity, I guess? It's different when you're a white woman.
Come.
This here.
Is that what I saw upstairs?
Sorry, I saw this, and I'm a big fan of the really crappy 90s Pinocchio horror movie. No, not the one with Drew Carey. But, I don't know, could be fun.
That'll be him.
Where is he?
In there.
Oh, doesn't that look inviting?
Shy, I think.
Yeah, he's shy. Most murderers are.
Come on out. I want you to meet someone. He's the boy I've been telling you about. Yes, him.
Looks all right. It looks all right, let me tell you. That's pretty much the face I would have, though.
You're the first person he's seen, other than me. I think he wanted to be your friend.
What do you think about?
Yep, that would have been my reaction. But that's, I guess, the whole not even a preview, an exclusive clip. But just wanted to show that to kind of break it apart. But now we'll get with this little bit of Hassan Diddy Piker on Charlemagne's show, The Breakfast Club.
The concept of techno-feudalism. How they're saying we're at the tail end of capitalism, and capitalism is morphing into this thing called techno-feudalism.
So another person who's been stopped from traveling around the UK, not the UK, but in Germany, Yanis Varoufakis wrote about this.
Yeah, techno-feudalism will kill capitalism.
He's the man. I love him, and you know I'm honored to see him as a peer and a colleague nowadays. But
please tell him I would love to have him on the show.
Oh, he would definitely come on.
I read his book.
He's so charismatic too. He's so handsome. He's another one of those rich socialists. Okay.
He's so handsome.
He was the finance minister of Greece, and anyway, so he's wonderful. He's brilliant, and yes, I do agree with his analysis that the new dominion.
And frankly, Charlemagne, I'd let him have me if he wanted.
Is one that is being fought on the internet, one that is being fought through these tech companies. I'll give you one example that actually ties back to my own personal experience.
And might not have anything to do with what we're talking about.
So PayPal and Venmo are American companies. And when I went to Cuba, obviously America has tremendous restrictions over what you can and can't do in Cuba. These are arbitrary, they're ridiculous. They literally can send you to prison for 10 years if you stay in the wrong hotel. Unbelievable stuff, right? Now, no such restrictions exist if you're Canadian, or if you're Mexican, or if you're from any other part of the world. These countries all have totally normal relations with Cuba. Of course, they can't really trade with Cuba because they're worried that America will deploy secondary sanctions on them. So that obviously harms the Cuban economy in a spectacular manner. But one of these
to do with what we're talking about.
Insidious ways in which American tech companies get to enforce their arbitrary rules over two totally separate, independent, sovereign nations is when, if you were, let's say, an Italian person, right, sending your Swiss friend money, and you wrote Cuba Libre because you went and you got the Cuba Libre drink, right, and you wrote that in your Venmo payment, they shut down your account. This is an American company that gets to impose these arbitrary restrictions that are silly on the entire world that uses these American tech companies. And if there's no European alternative, then there's no European sovereignty there.
So make your own, or just don't use the American one. If you're using an American company, use their rules. What's so complicated about this?
Right? If you're on American internet, if you're using American companies, and they've provided a lot of new liberties for you, a lot of opportunities for you, like YouTube is another one, right? Then in the interim, you think, oh, it's fine, I'm just making YouTube videos, it's whatever. It's at the end of the day, it's not a big deal, but you're actually generating value for America. So for these other countries, they don't have an alternative.
I mean,
they've never designed an alternative, so they have this over-reliance on American companies. Sometimes that can lead to these arbitrary restrictions that I just mentioned, and in other instances, or I guess the most nefarious way is that it's a bunch of American capitalists that are making money off of your labor, off of your output, off of what you are doing, and that's part.
You're getting paid for it. You're allowed to be on their platform, and you get paid. And in Twitch's case, you get paid more than they can really afford to pay you, apparently, Hassan Diddy Piker. But like this guy has no, exactly, based American. Like, we are the ones supplying the platforms that people can get paid on. They chose, because at one point, I'm old enough to remember when people didn't get paid to do YouTube videos. And then they really were making money off of your hard work. But then they started paying people, and a lot of them started paying them pretty well.
Part of the reason why, a lot of these other countries, due to national security concerns initially, have developed alternatives. I mean, in China, I went there, all the applications are Chinese. There's no, they don't.
They're usually ripped off of other countries' software and applications.
You need a VPN if you want to use American applications, and most Chinese people don't use them, or they use a VPN to go on, the Western internet. That's not just so that
an American-based VPN, perhaps.
Chinese people are not brainwashed by American culture or anything like that. I mean, they have
they want to be. Yeah, they have their own fascist,
robust industry. They have their own cultural output.
They have their own fascist dictator who can brainwash them for them.
But
so they
a big
don't
part of the
need
reason
Americans.
is because they want to have financial control for the Chinese, by the Chinese, rather than give all of this give all this wealth and give all this productivity to American corporations. And Europe is now looking for alternatives as well to the American companies, the American tech companies.
One thing that Giannis talks about in the book is he talks about how these algo bosses is what he calls them. They monetize our emotions, and the greatest currency in the cloud capital is conflict. So
it's 100% illegal to use a VPN in China.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, it's always what has sold newspapers as well. But
it bleeds, it leads.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, this is definitely. I mean, it's more
as opposed to Hassan Diddy Piker's old mantra: "Old enough to count, old enough to mount."
Or it's more dangerous than that because we've never had, due to technological limitations, this level of involvement in what people feel about themselves and about others. Right? I mean, you can conduct a psychographic profile on a person down to the zip code, down to the house, and figure out, what time of the day where they're more likely to order a McDonald's hamburger, and then you can adjust the pricing, as many of these apps are doing now, to make sure that if it's in rush hour, they are more likely to spend an extra $1 on a burger. So they do these, the prices are not fixed.
They do that for flights too. I see that certain times where people are looking to go on vacation.
I wonder, do they know, is there a certain period of point in the day where people are the most angry? I'm not even joking.
I'm sure.
I feel like creators are being rewarded for keeping people angry. These platforms are being rewarded for keeping people angry. Like certain times of the day, you'll see something get thrown out there.
Like the news? Like you guys?
All day arguing about it.
You learn that when you enter a newsroom. Not this is the time of the day they're angry, but like on the weekends, people don't want all of that. They want to have conversations. They want to feel
Hold on.
Not this is the day.
And you'll spend all day arguing
what did he say?
about it.
You learn that when you enter a newsroom. Not this is the time of the day they're angry, but like on the weekends, people don't want.
Who used to work? Did he say he used to work at TMZ? That makes sense.
Conversations. They want to feel good. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, heavy hitters. Yeah, that's a thing that you learn.
Every time I go on Twitter, I'm angry. So I think every moment of the day that I waste on Twitter is a moment where I'm more angry than I was before I got on Twitter.
But I'm sure
you should see him on his live stream. How could I be okay?
Being targeted. I'm sure these algo bosses, these technologies, they're targeting your feed on purpose with things. You probably arguing with bots all day and don't even know.
Yeah, I know I am, and I still do it.
Jerry Seinfeld.
He's not. Everyone hates him because they should. Him and his ilk, and especially he's afraid of his own followers. And his followers go out there and do things in his name, whether he tells them directly to or not. But a lot of them, he's just like, who's going to do it? Who's going to do it? Make Daddy Piker proud.
Right. Walking down the street the other day going to the Knicks game. Somebody asked him to free Palestine. He says, it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
He's just a gross racist, That's what it is.
No, that's you.
There's common talking points amongst
Palestine does not exist.
Amongst defenders of Israel. And one of them is the idea that Palestine is not a real place.
It's not.
And that Palestinians are not a real concept. Some of them claim that it's a socialist invention. Some of them claim that Arafat invented this concept. It's not true. Palestine existed under Ottoman occupation initially, under the Ottoman Empire, and then it became a British holdover occupied state, British-occupied Palestine. So it's existed for far longer than Israel has. Israel's only existed since 1948. Palestine.
The secret to not get angry on X is to listen to Nux. No, 100%.
And has existed far beyond Israel.
So both places have a right to exist, because I hear people that are anti-Israel, they'll say Israel doesn't have a right to exist.
I think Israel in its current formation, given that it's a settler colonial operation that's seeking out the expulsion or complete extermination of the indigenous population.
They're not. If Israel wanted to kill all the Palestinians, they would have been gone a long time ago. They have the manpower, they have the technology, and frankly, they have the backers. But that's not what they want. They just want Hamas, and who are the ones that are in Lebanon, to stop bombing them. If they could trust the Palestinians, well, Hamas, there would be no fighting. If Hamas and Hezbollah and all these other little groups that constantly bombard Israel put down their weapons and swore to never shoot again, there would be no conflict. But just like Nuck says, if the Israelis open their doors and put down their weapons, Israel would cease to exist. When there's only one side that you can honestly, truly say that about, I mean, what are we even talking about here?
As an apartheid state does not have a right to exist.
It's not an apartheid state. You don't know what words
does
mean.
Does Nazi Germany have a right to exist? Or does apartheid South Africa have a right to exist? Does Rhodesia have a right to exist? No, of course not. People have a right to exist. People do exist. Israel currently exists. It's just a matter of, are they following international humanitarian laws? And they certainly are not. And I want to change that.
So is it like saying MAGA doesn't have a right to exist? Like in our current
like a movement, exactly. Yeah. Like that doesn't mean that that doesn't mean kill all Republicans or whatever, right? I mean, I'm sure that's how people would present it as. I mean, this is a trick that every political movement deploys, right? You say Black Lives Matter,
Mostly
they turn around and say, "Oh, how about all lives matter?" You're saying Black Lives Matter, which means you're saying white lives don't matter. It's like, no.
People have literally said that.
Oh, that's a whole different sentence. Mm-hmm. So the does Israel have a right to exist deployment as a statement, as a question, is a technique to shift the conversation away from Israel's crimes against the Palestinians.
No, it's a way to point out the fact that you say from the river to the sea and globalize the Intifada.
Palestinians to make it seem like the opposition is actually being crazy and they want like all Jews to be exterminated, all Israelis to be exterminated, which is not the case.
Yes, it is.
You will never win.
It is 100% the case. Okay, the copium here is real. Sorry, every time I say Israel, I think Israel. But that's seriously. All you have to do is pay any attention to anything Hassan Diddy Piker has ever said, and you'll know the truth. But continuing on for a little palate cleanser.
Not only did you disobey a direct order, but come to find out, you ran off to meet with Darth Jadis?
Oh God, not that race.
To stand against Jadis, you're going to need my help, and you'll need them too.
Why are there two of the people? Like I know it's a species that's technically existed in Star Wars before, I'm pretty sure. But why are there two of them of a show of a species we've only seen in live action on? No, they've been on Clone Wars. Or was it Rebels? One of those. But still, most recently, most prominently, Acolyte.
If we're going to succeed, we will all have a part to play.
Both of these actresses sound exactly alike.
May the Force be with you both. The Mandalorians need all the support they can get. This is a turning point for the galaxy, for all of us.
Is it just me, or is this kind of shitty?
Hedda, I'm coming for you.
I don't know if the sound quality, like if it's just the way it's put together that sucks. Because I normally I just have one earphone on. And I've got both of them on listening to this. Maybe I need a new headset? Is it just me?
By the Force.
Oh, I thought, is that Hassan Piker with the shoulder pads? It's Bane Piker. You're cooked.
I will make way for a new galactic order.
Like, is it just me, or was that kind of shit? I have to ask. Like, I know it's just like another expansion or some shit of the Old Republic. For some reason, I was thinking it was the new, Old Republic game. But that seemed kind of shit. Anyway, let's continue to this monster returning to the public eye.
The girl that flashed Charlie Kirk is going viral again. She got fat. She got fat? Really? That's really what they did.
She got fat and obnoxious.
This is apparently the same woman who flashed Charlie Kirk. She reappeared in a video and said something disgusting about Charlie. So this is the girl before, and she obviously is, you know, she's pretty cute. She's skinny. And this is, I mean, she just porked out. She blinked out. She went hog wild. God damn. Like, don't you get afraid to get married? Like, what happens if you get married to this girl and then this is what happens? So this is the original clip.
Do you feel proud of yourself for debating college kids who are unprepared to speak in front of an audience like yourself? You're 30 years old. Do you think that's a little bit silly?
Are you a voter?
I am a voter. I'm a registered voter.
I vote and you vote. So I'm talking to voters of this country that will determine the future of Western civilization.
Who are you?
Well, important enough for you to come up to a microphone.
Oh, man, that's bad.
I mean, exactly. Someone who you felt the need to come and talk to. Like, what is this line of questioning? Did you just walk up and thought you would own someone because you're pretty and no one's ever told you that you're wrong before?
No, you could see. Look how popular Trump is on your campus. How does that make you feel? That is a 5-alarm fire for Kamala Harris because she's probably going to lose Pennsylvania.
And look who was right.
And you said, well, I'm worried about some laws Congress should pass. I have to ask, what laws are you talking about? Can you be specific?
She got a titty out.
I'm sorry, I'm very nervous. This is what you do. This is what you do. You take people and you put them under the spotlight and you...
Well, hold on. I didn't ask
No, they put themselves
you to
in the
come up
spotlight.
here. You voluntarily came to the front of the line. You didn't have to do that.
You're purposely antagonizing people on campus,
not.
asking people to come up by spreading your weird agenda.
I love how the way that she explains herself. I wish the chatters.
The
would
only
do
thing that's
same
weird
thing
is
to
that
me,
she keeps
right?
popping
I mean,
her
like,
tit
we never
out.
have that happen. So what's she saying now?
This next girl.
That child would cause...
Are you a fan of Charlie Kirk? Well, why don't you dig him up and fuck him in the neck hole?
Maybe you should do that first time you get some exercise.
It's the weirdest thing I've heard all day.
Have you ever made a woman come?
Because abortion is intentional.
Hey, look at that. Her questions haven't gotten any better. She hasn't had any real dialogue. Everything is sex to her, which is why she's so full.
Have you ever made a woman come?
Yes.
Oh, really? Was she lying?
Did you really not think about what would happen if he said yes?
Because you can't really tell.
Hey, what if...
I mean, you can if you do it right. I mean, honestly. Clearly, it's never happened for you on either side of it, because from the look of her now, I mean, feminist lesbian.
You decided that instead of trying to do these gotcha things, they're not very funny. Have you ever been not funny?
You're not very funny. He's not trying to be funny. He's trying to talk to people.
I'm not out here to be funny.
Man, bro, and
right.
you are going here
Yeah.
to talk to children.
And
You're not children. You're adults.
We were having a conversation, and then you came up and started asking me if I've ever made a woman come.
Oh my God.
Different than others, but we all do it in different ways.
Okay.
But see, Christ came to forgive sinners, even sinners like you.
Bro, he is rage baiting her so hard with the Bible.
Every time you jack off, you kill your babies.
It's not even like, again, so
Well,
here's the problem.
Most devout Christians don't really jack off. So, like, what are we even talking about? You're just throwing out random shitty points about whatever topic that you believe in with no real structure. Shapeshifter. Hey, Shapey.
Problem is that these people can vote.
Sperm
Of course.
are not humans. Human beings, I hate to have to be the one to do this. Human beings are created via sexual reproduction. The sperm has to meet the egg to produce a
That's
newly
exactly what I
conceived
said.
human being.
I mean, masturbation's still sin.
You are so smart.
Well, you were
your brain is so huge.
It's millennial.
that
These are Gen Z.
Jacking off was murder. So that's...
Hi, camera.
If they are children, they shouldn't
Love. Who are you, Diddy?
You're Diddy?
Who are you, Diddy? Mr. Love?
No.
That doesn't make any
No,
sense.
Not that kind of love. Loving your neighbor as yourself. Because I want justice and I want equality.
So much.
Yes.
While choosing to act really cringy and weird,
Yeah, this is...
certainly a tactic.
Hey, happy
This was
birthday,
It
Shapeshifter.
is an affront to my freedoms that these people have any. My boy Charlie cursed her and turned her into a land whale from beyond the grave. Oh my God.
You know what's crazy? I'll remember that just because
Democrats have
one of my favorite people I've met online here, and two, tomorrow's actually my nephew's birthday, so
lost the plot on immigration policy. We started the year with ICE deporting.
But yeah, but no, that girl was very cringe. The fact that like she just goes up there and causes a scene. Like I'm sure her little fat lesbian TikTok audience loves it. But I mean, they're troglodytes, you know. Like what are we talking about here? Speaking of disgusting people, let's see what Antifa's been up to.
Criminal illegal immigrants. So a near insurrection in Minnesota. On the other side, a ton of controversy. All polls still point to the fact that Americans largely support President Trump's immigration agenda still. So
happy
when
birthday,
Democrats are out there saying
shapeshifter.
no one should be deported ever, which they think that a DSA congressional candidate in New York, endorsed by Zohar Mamdani, is saying, or that rioting at courthouses is fine, and that ICE agents.
Did you watch the Pinocchio Unstrung trailer? I'm guessing you're also curious about Twisted Childhood. No, 100%. Is it going to be a whole universe? That would be amazing. Like everything that maybe Disney's lost some kind of copyright to, or doesn't have the full copyright. That would be kind of awesome. And at the same time, I also want the same thing. There's a whole Marvel universe out there where everything turned out the absolute worst. I might bring it up sometime. It's kind of fucked up. So I'll probably have to put something light on either side of it.
Should be prosecuted. That's a weird political move. It's not just the Mamdani socialist candidates who've been.
Oh, speaking of Delulu, box office anal cyst predicts Supergirl will outgross Spider-Man Brand New Day. This wouldn't happen even if the Supergirl movie was getting positive anything. Like, you know what I mean? This would not happen. Even if Superman got all positive praise and did better than Man of Steel did, and if Supergirl hadn't come out and said all that stupid shit, and if there was nothing but positive press and media behind it, that would not happen. For the mere fact that, one, we're finally getting Michael Mondo as the Scorpion. I've been waiting for this for 10 years. Michael Mondo is the frickin' man. Voss himself from Far Cry 3. Are you kidding? What's his name from Nacho from Better Call Saul? The man is fantastic, and the fact that that you can't really name more than that and maybe a couple of there he is in media kind of shows you how shit things have gotten. Because Michael Mondo, if he was an actor in the 90s and 2000s, oh my god, dude, he would at least be. Like, I really think he's like John Leguizamo levels. Like, even if he was just a one-note guy where he only played like a complicated anti-hero or a supervillain or whatever, he would have done gangbusters. But I think he's got range. I really, really do. Like, if you watch the Far Cry experience with Christopher Mintz-Plasse, you'll understand. Like, the guy... He's just damn likable. But this is absolutely nuts here. Anyway, sorry, continuing with Antifa. They're also doing a crossover where all the monsters come together. Hell yes. Supergirl will outgrow Spider-Man. Good joke, Hollywood. No, it's completely hilarious. Like, Spider-Man will probably get close to 1 billion. I'm gonna call it now. Will it get to 1 billion? Maybe, but I think it'll at least get close if it doesn't completely tip over. If it's good, if it gets good press, like I'm hoping it does, like if it turns out that the girl from Stranger Things actually is Jean Grey, and here, we'll bring this back down so people know what we're talking about. If it turns out that what's her name from Stranger Things is actually Jean Grey, and they put her in there and it's not stupid or a waste or any of that stuff, and the story's pretty good, and there's not too much stuff with MJ. I love MJ, Ned, and Peter Parker. They're dynamic and everything. Ned's a fucking national treasure. I don't care. I don't care if he's a bad Harry Osborn knockoff. I don't care if he's supposed to be the Hobgoblin or whatever eventually, at least as far as his character in the comic books goes. I don't care if he's the wrong race. I don't care. He's great. He's fantastic. I wish he was in more stuff. But I wish the Twisted Childhood universe was a lot better. They just feel like slasher flicks, gross. Glossed as fairy tale characters before Neverland Nightmare came out. I expected. I haven't seen that one. I need to watch some of these. You need to give me like a list of some of these, or I'll look it up at some point. But that sounds awesome. But no, like I actually like, and this is the funny thing. Zendaya, I can't stand her in just about anything, except for the Spider-Man movies. I really liked her character in the first one. She was pretty much the only thing I liked about the first one, except for Tom Holland's a really good Spider-Man. It's not his fault that they're not the best written, and that they've completely changed everything about Spider-Man, including Flash Thompson. I don't care what race he is, okay? I care that he's 5 foot tall, and he's a debate nerd and not a jock, okay? He should be a 6 foot plus nerd. I don't care what race you make him, okay? He's got to be Agent Venom eventually. Okay, and the fact that you just made him some rich, entitled dork who's 5 foot tall instead of a giant guy who's actually, stronger than Peter Parker is a complete waste. I like the actor they got. He's a good actor, whatever. But they went way too heavy on diversity without actually thinking about what they were doing. It's like, okay, everyone reach in the bag. Whatever role you got is who you are. But anyway, sorry, that's my rant. Continuing.
It's the supposedly moderate Democrats as well. The DOJ is taking significant action. They are now prosecuting 15 members of a Minnesota anti-ICE group. According to the Justice Department, they announced that 15 members and associates of direct act.
Oh, it's in the Blood and Honey universe? Bambi the Reckoning? I've heard of that one. Oh, I didn't know there were more. I knew there was Blood and Honey, the Winnie the Pooh one. And I knew they're trying to make a sequel of that if they haven't already. But I did not know the rest of these were a thing.
Action Minnesota have been charged with various federal crimes, including conspiracy to impede a federal officer, multiple counts of interstate stalking, interstate threats, solicitation to commit a crime of violence, multiple counts of assault on a federal officer, and destruction of government property. So this does mark one of the first sort of investigations and prosecutions of one of these Antifa-associated groups.
Yay! Disbar their fucking lawyers,
federal
too.
Agents with Homeland Security conducted a coordinated law enforcement operation culminating in the arrest of 14 direct action Minnesota members. They call themselves DAM. And this makes perfect sense. I mean, obviously, Antifa has been fostering violence and chaos in our streets for years on end. There are some Antifa riots happening outside of the St. Paul, Minnesota courthouse.
Oh, man, that's a violent idea, isn't it? Is this the one where the guy throws the grenade and he doesn't throw it far enough?
Spray painting the doors and attacking ICE officers and then being tear gassed and all the rest of it. So just wonderful people. Wonderful, wonderful people. These are the people that we have been assured by Democrats are the freedom fighters.
People.
These are the people who we ought to respect. The people who are going after courthouses because members of Antifa who act in violence against police officers are being arrested.
I expect the movies to like the same story, but horror-like. They are just slasher flicks. Well, for Bambi, he's pretty much a zombie deer. See, and that's kind of disappointing. Like, if they had made it to where... Like Marvel Zombies or something. Or the one where the... anti-life equation in DC, the Deceased. Or something, to where something happened, or Bambi was bit by a zombie, and it's still the same story up until the point where Bambi gets bit by a zombie. Or just becomes a fucking raging lunatic. Or something, or when Bambi's mom dies, Bambi wants revenge. Or something crazy and over the top. There needs to be a catalyst of something that actually happens in the story that makes it... Just like, what if they had made this decision or did this trope when this thing that actually happens in the story happens?
Meanwhile, the Democratic Party increasingly enthralled to the Democratic Socialist...
Or Sleeping Beauty. Like, say, you change one little thing in the story to where her wicked stepmother or Maleficent or whoever the fuck it was puts her to sleep because she had... become a zombie, or because she was killing people, and she put her to sleep because she was killing people. And then they defeat Maleficent and wake her up, and then she goes on a killing spree that we didn't know about was happening before, and Maleficent turns out to be the savior. Just anything besides just, oh, people in bear costume kill people. I mean, it makes sense. Bambi avenges his mother. Oh, is that what? See? Like, yeah, exactly like that.
America. Congressional candidate in New York's 13th district endorsed, of course, by Zohran Mamdani, a person named Daria Liza Avila Chevalier, says that all deportations are wrong, literally all of them.
All deportation is wrong. Is that something you still believe?
That phrase, yes. I still believe that all deportations are wrong. And
even if we're talking about...
I think you're wrong because your name is stupid in French. And you don't have a French accent. I would write it as his mother is the zombie, and the whole movie is him escaping her while watching her do. Oh yeah. That could be good too. I like it.
Illegal entry to the country or someone who may have committed a crime.
So when we're talking about things like illegal entry, or we're actually talking about administrative laws, right? We're not talking about law.
Let me concede the question of people who have not committed a crime, because I think that that's not really the question at hand. Like, if we're saying all deportation is wrong, though, that would seem to also include people who were convicted of breaking U.S. criminal law. Is the deportation of those people wrong?
Yes, and the reason I say that is because we have a criminal system. It is
yes, but people are always complaining that our prison systems are already too full. And they are. So you can't simultaneously, and that's the thing, they want to close down the prisons altogether. Like these countries where these people are coming from. They want to close down the prison systems. We need to send them back or send them to a world prison system, where we pretty much just drop them there, make sure they're fed, make sure they're slept. And that's pretty much the only contact they have with anybody.
Perfect.
Give them or make an escape from fucking New York or escape from LA City.
And it is one that if we accept as the process by which we want to engage with these issues, right? The issues of harm, issues of criminality, what have you, then we need to make sure that it is one that isn't also discriminatory on the basis of where people were born.
That's stupid.
You know, points for consistency. Points for consistency.
No, yeah, of course.
We
but
can't discriminate
still
based
stupid.
on where people were born. So that means we can never deport anyone. Because if there's a right to free speech for an American citizen, that means that there
Ben, is that a hair or an
earpiece
earpiece that's bugging me right here,
murdering
bud?
somebody and go to an American jail. Why should we deport somebody who murdered an American citizen if they're from Venezuela
Might be an
or
earpiece.
something? Admirable consistency in hatred of the country from these Democratic Socialists of America candidates. Amazing to me that Democrats continue to humor this nonsense, but they're not just humoring it. They're bending in its direction. So Representative Seth Moulton from Massachusetts, again, I know Representative Moulton. He is, in my opinion, far more moderate than he likes to let off publicly sometimes. Here he was suggesting that ICE needs to be prosecuted.
And that's why I have been so clear. I was the first in this race to say that ICE not only needs to be abolished, they need to be prosecuted.
I was the first to say this bullshit.
And again, he is running for Senate in Massachusetts, and this is how apparently you win a Senate seat in Massachusetts. The fact that Democrats continue to embrace the most radical aspects of the immigration agenda, they must really believe that President Trump is so unpopular they can say anything, which is a move. I do not think it is a smart move.
No.
It seems to me that the American people always and forever will select the candidate that they believe is more rational, close to the center, more normie. That seems like that's just what the American people do. They bounce side to side on their perception.
If Shapiro had ginger hair, I'd be convinced he's adult Kyle Broflovsky. No, 100%. 100%. But even if he did have ginger hair, he would never have ginger hair because look, he dyes his hair very, very clearly. And his eyebrows. Look at that shit.
Of who that is. But do they really believe?
And look at his beard. His beard is almost kind of gingery. Why he doesn't dye it too is probably because, I mean, that would be too obvious.
That they need to elect people who take sides with those who say that no one ever should be deported, who defend rioters at courthouses and act in violence against ICE. I do not think so. I do not think so. Father's Day is this Sunday. Here's a question worth asking. When's the last time you actually watched old home videos with your family? Most people have not. Now, started today. It's legacybox.com/Shapiro. You know who is realizing all of this with regard to immigration, open immigration not being a great idea? The Europeans. So they are far ahead of us. They had mass migration for a decade, and it turns out it wrecked all of their societies. And so yesterday, you saw the bizarre spectacle of members of the European Parliament chanting.
Okay, maybe that one time,
it sounded like
Kyle.
a Trump rally from 2015, 2016. Here's what that sounded like.
Four more years.
What was that in the aftermath of? According to DW.com, the European Parliament on Wednesday approved more stringent migration measures that grant member states wider-ranging powers to deport failed asylum seekers. EU lawmakers approved the changes to EU policy with 418 in favor to 218 against, 30 abstentions. So the new policy would allow member states to establish return hubs in non-EU countries. A non-EU national found to be staying illegally within a member state would be obliged to leave the EU country, and then that person would end up in a return hub within a country that has an agreement with an EU member state. So let's say that you are caught in England without an EU membership, and they decide they're going to deport you to some Eastern European country that decides to have a hub, or Morocco or something. The agreements can only be concluded with third countries that uphold human rights, international law, and the principle of non-refoulement. Under the legislation, the person can be detained, and if they fail to cooperate with local authorities, or if they're found to pose a security risk, they can be deported. So the fact that this was passed with a wide majority in the EU Parliament suggests that the Europeans have finally tired of all of this. And we discussed yesterday that shocking report from a member of Parliament about the massive grooming gang scandal in Great Britain. Again, he's estimating up to 250,000 girls were involved in the grooming and rape by a large group of Pakistani Muslim men. Now, whether that stat is right or whether it's wrong, we do know that that was happening, even if in smaller numbers, but on a widespread basis in places like Rotherham. It turns out the Europeans, at a certain point, the Europeans get tired of this, because all majority societies do. They get eventually tired of people coming in.
I mean, most people do get tired
of
being raped.
And then committing acts of criminality and deciding that essentially the assimilative culture of the country that they are entering is not important any longer. That's going to happen in the United States, too. And when moderate Democrats and Democrats more broadly believe that they can maintain an open borders policy or a policy of quote-unquote multiculturalism that suggests no assimilative qualities are necessary in order for you to enter the United States, I just don't understand what these candidates think they are doing. I mean, I understand you can win a local race in New York probably based on this, but how do you think that's going to go over for the broader slate of Americans? Do Democrats really believe that if they embrace the AOC wing of the party, that is going to win them broad electoral purchase in 2000?
No, I stopped paying a question in the chat. Did you see the newest terrible Shrek 5 trailer? No, I stopped paying attention when they showed what Zendaya's character was going to look like. Why do people have nose piercings? And that's my biggest thing. No, Shrek 1 was amazing. Shrek 2 was the best. I think for me, at least, it edges out the first one. Shrek 3 was Shrek 4 was better than 3. Shrek 5, I mean, I mean, 5 is a nice, much more rounder number, but if.
2028. What an amazing video you just...
That's a horrible end of the video segment there. Oops.
Democrat.
Wait, where'd it go?
When your country is not playing, you must root for the underdog. We also...
Hold on, real quick. So the question here is, would you support taking down every pride flag from America's classrooms? Classrooms? Yes, 100%. 100%. Also, this flag is not a pride flag. This is not a gay pride flag. This is an abomination, okay? The rainbow flag was fine. It was perfect. It included everybody. And then all of a sudden, everyone needs their own little flag mixed into it. You know, like the AIDS quilt. So there was a gay pride parade in Canada where Black Lives Matter held up the whole parade and said, y'all aren't inclusive of us. So they insisted until they put this black and brown stripe, a black and brown stripe on a rainbow flag that doesn't represent anybody's race. It's just saying everyone, all the colors. What are we talking about? And then they added the little trans triangle here, which is hideous, by the way. It is the most disgusting part of the whole thing. Just bring back the original pride flag. Like, remember when it was okay to be gay? And remember how everyone's trying to convince you that dating someone who's trans doesn't make you gay? Like, if it's a trans woman who was born a man and you're a man, it's not gay. It is. And why is that a bad thing? Why does the trans community hate gay people so much? That's my question. Anyway. Continuing.
Or and how far we are in as far as making the case that soccer is gay. I feel like it's pretty definitive, but it certainly seems to be the favored sport of Marxists. Maybe curling, because a lot of Canadians play it.
I like the World Cup. I don't watch football or soccer beyond that, but football is the most popular sport in the world. In the world. Okay, second, I think overall is basketball. And in America, our football, American football, is the most popular. I don't watch soccer or football unless it's the World Cup, and even then, nah.
But
hold on, there's a reason why Lucifer's last name is Morningstar, because when he shines light, the first thing that pops out of the light is the pride flag. Oh my God!
Remember, I've told you, hey, if you need to understand.
Oh, I see it when I got halfway through that. I thought you were gonna make a Morningstar chocolate starfish reference, but I mean, kind of.
Why the left makes the decisions they do? Why they back the people that they do? It's simple, right? Just
because they hate you.
What do? Just look at whoever is considered oppressed, marginalized, minority will be supported. That's it. They must be oppressed, and the majority must be the oppressor. They must be the colonizer, right? That's how they support
They must
Hamas,
be helped by white
Palestine,
women.
and LGBTQ. That's how they support the Iranian regime, but then also, stop Asian hate until they realize, oh, wait a second, black people are carrying out the violence. It doesn't matter what it is. Oppressor, oppressed. Reverse the order. Oppressor, oppressed. That's it. Yeah. Marxism. Always. Okay, that's how they build their useful or useless coalitions. Now here, the leftists describe why they like soccer and who they root for.
Okay, so for my Latinos watching the World Cup, let me clarify this in the rooting order, okay? First, number one place you're rooting for is the country you or your parents are from.
When your country
America.
is not...
You live in America, you're from America. If these people aren't from America, then sure, root for whoever the fuck you want. But if you're American, I mean, and look. During a world championship, it's okay to root for other countries. The same way as someone from Florida, it's okay for you to like the Knicks or the Giants or whatever. Because most people, I live in Texas, and no one likes the Dallas Cowboys anymore. They did when they won, but no one likes teams that have lost consistently for 20 years.
Playing, you must root for the underdog. We also always choose underdog over colonizers. So, for example,
root
any
for that
African
hairline.
country, any
My
Latin
God, I was just
American
gonna
country
say.
over European countries.
And
That
then
forehead is
we're
real.
going all of Africa except South Africa.
I'm going to root for the team that was colonized. I do not want any of the European countries to win it.
Is this a fat man? Is that why there's...
win the game, the tournament?
Senegal versus their colonizers?
Oh, nose ring theory. Why are your eyebrows white?
Do we really need to question whose side I'm on?
Yeah, you probably should. At the bottom.
I mean, she's big enough. She's probably on both sides.
Music should be louder.
Yeah, that's right. They don't.
We are joined by Chris Hemsworth's worst nightmare, a bunch of lesbians that don't care that he's hot. Billy on the street.
I like Argentina because they're basically white. Now,
and they won last year, or last time.
Think about this. She goes, do you really have to know I'm going to support the colonized team? Do you realize that there are places in Africa that would be less colonized, for example, than some of the French colonies, the English colonies, that still try to rape away their AIDS?
Yeah.
Why do you give them the moral high ground? Also, they mentioned South America, all of South America. You know what language they speak in most of South America, right? Almost everywhere. Spanish? You know that the Spanish at one point, right? They were an empire too. They're just not today because they're lazy and they take naps in the middle of the day. So you understand that is shifting.
I mean, Mexico was a colonizer, for crying out loud.
I know.
There was a Mexican empire for about, 6 years.
Not
even that.
When there's no moral basis, it's just whoever is most successful in their endeavors must be wrong. Some things are out of your control.
Turned on the fasten seatbelt sign. So.
Stablecoin. It's stable. Or we will obviously not grant the moral high ground. We'll grant the moral high ground to even evil people, terrorists in many instances. They apply it to soccer. It couldn't be more clear. Now do it with trans and kids. Even Democratic congressional candidates in New York City are jumping on this whole colonized soccer is gay, but they don't realize that that's my commentary, this trend.
The first match this weekend at MetLife Stadium taking place in New Jersey, even though some people say it is technically New York. But what do you think will win it all? Who are you rooting for?
Oh, I like Mexico.
Mexico, there you go.
I'm rooting for Senegal.
Senegal, okay.
What?
Now vote for me.
Yeah.
I'm rooting against America.
Rooting for the underdog.
And again, I don't care if you're rooting for another country, especially if it's like your homeland or whatever. I don't care when it comes to sports. I don't care if you're rooting for a country that you've never fucking lived in because you see, like when you got introduced to the sport, this person was the hot shot or this team was on fire. I don't care. I do not care. I only care when you move to a country and you start waving the flags of the country that you don't fucking live in anymore. That's the only thing. Why? Because why are you here? Why? That's the only thing I care about. I don't care where anyone comes from. Okay? You're allowed to be proud of your heritage and all that. But don't come to a country and be here for 5 minutes and then protest all the things. And light fires to American flags. And wave the flag of wherever you came from. Uh-oh, could you... Bart Simpson, what the fuck?
Colonized countries like Senegal, who imprison you, by the way, for 10 years for anything even remote.
And also this. This just happened to pop up on my timeline. So this was peak white culture, and we took it for granted. A video that starts with this, with Mike Shinoda. Anyway, I just thought that was funny. It's like peak white culture. when all this new metal garbage got replaced by the revival of Prosperous Metals bands in 2004. Yes.
Totally homosexual, which is bad news for their soccer team. Ironically, it all comes full circle.
It's unfair. What a conundrum
Full
that must
circle
be
jerk.
to be like, we got to root for the colonized country. Yeah. They violate human rights.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they were colonized.
Yeah,
so
but it's still okay.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. They don't have running water.
That's all it is. That's all it is. If you want to understand it, Marxism, and this is because they need to appeal to minorities to build a very large coalition. That's why we've talked about the Bolsheviks. Yeah, there was a disproportionate percentage of Jewish representation. It was single-digit percentages, but also Georgians, also people who were oppressed in any capacity. They just build up this coalition, but it doesn't matter as to the motivations of those underdogs or oppressed, and that's why invariably it leads to violence and civil war, because turns out they can't all get along. Diversity is not really our biggest strength.
They're better off after being colonized anyway in most cases. But hey, whatever.
Legitimate.
I'll stick with
yes,
that.
Of course they are.
Checked.
All right, from Mr. Never Miss. The biggest stage in sports, FIFA World Cup, July 4th, USA, and England might face off on U.S. soil for the first time since 1776.
That's
I know you
pretty.
don't like soccer, but
That's
would you
pretty
watch
awesome.
This?
No,
That's actually historically wrong.
Whoa. What do you mean?
1812.
Are you talking to me or?
Since 1776?
Yeah, that's historically inaccurate.
Correct, but it's inaccurate. But if the United States and the UK play on July 4th, he's saying that that's a possibility based on the scheduling and they could make it to the knockout stages?
Is he saying the first time that we would compete in anything on July 4th in 1776?
Well, I either way, if that match
This
was
is somebody who doesn't watch baseball.
Yeah.
That's true. But
Why?
if that
Because we
match,
played Britain in baseball?
Yeah, they have their own little tournament that people don't know about. But
Oh.
it's not quite as big as the World Cup.
yeah, no, not even.
So, but if the U.S. played England on July 4th, why wouldn't you watch?
Why would I watch?
I mean, why not?
Yeah.
It's patriotic.
Well, that's just a
I mean, if it's
you need to
convenient.
do more lessons with Andrew Wilson. That's not a valid argument.
Of
Why
course
wouldn't?
not.
Because I don't watch any
Go
soccer
ahead.
games whatsoever. So there needs to be more reason
Don't
for me to tune in,
disperse.
other than a team that claims to that is labeled as England, which I'm willing to bet that many of their players are African or from somewhere else, is playing against our team. Where
That is
many
right,
of
but
our
what are you
people
talking
aren't
about?
American.
We
I'm
are
sorry, I
just as much
I just don't feel
British
the
as
Olympics are
anybody else.
different.
Why?
Well, the Olympics are
Same
different because
thing
you actually have to have athletes from your country. In most cases, if it's a specific,
the
like,
same thing that
like
you just described.
Like Rulon Gardner versus Alexander Karelin was a huge upset, and it was an American fighting this or competing against this Russian. You actually are getting the straight scoop. All right, is our American guy going to finally dethrone this guy who hasn't had a point scored against him? Something like that.
And precious metals are involved.
Sure. Yeah, in this case, they're not all Americans. They're
They
not
are
all
such
English.
precious
and
metals.
It's still a gay sport that I don't care about. Now, if we're going to
the
have
gay sport thing is a good argument. By the way, don't besmirch Andrew's reputation. I was not utilizing any tactics that he's taught me there. I was just trying to mess.
I know. He's like, why wouldn't you? What? Why would I? I mean, it's just
your
we can just go back and forth.
It's your patriotic duty. You have
Really?
to cheer
Explain
for
to me
us
how it's my patriotic duty to watch in a regulation-sized field.
Severely
On
admonished.
July 4th,
patriotic duty to watch the United States defeat Britain on July 4th.
It is my duty to root for the U.S. I will do that. I hope that they win. But on July 4th, I will be on a beach with my family, stuffing my face with hot dogs and waiting for fireworks.
Yep.
All right. You know what? That sounds better.
That's what everyone does on July 4th.
Time out of my American day to do some non-American shit. No, dude.
Oh, what are you
do
going to do?
American shit on July 4th.
Celebrate,
That's all I'm doing.
Celebrate the 4th with your most time-honored traditions and next of kin. You don't want to watch a man in Princess Leia buns to a referee that someone tapped his wrist? I'm Gerald.
I'm going to do donuts on the beach with my truck.
I love your caricature of soccer, though.
I want to do donuts on the face of every last soccer player for Team England. Next chat.
That was probably the gayest thing that he's ever said. Because it sounds like a glazed donut. But in any case, guys, that's all for today. Oh, God. I want to thank you all very much for stopping by. I've got a couple more things I want to cover. I don't know if I want to cover the full Hassan thing from the Breakfast Club or the full broadcast of Just Dance Vance on The View, or even the $300 billion Iran plan, whatever, broken down by the Crowder. Or, who knows, next Nux might put out a zinger today, and I might watch that over the weekend. But I am hoping to jump on this weekend, but I'm not going to promise anything because we all know I'm the worst. But in the meantime, guys, I very much appreciate you for being here this week. It's been a better week than last week, we'll say. The show was great last week, but the regular work day, not so much. So I appreciate y'all for being here with me in the morning. It means the world to me, both of you. Shapeshifter, Yanuka, and then whoever these other mystery people who have popped in and out during this, very much appreciated. But until we meet again, guys, this has been Alfie Animus for the Associated Guests. I'm signing out, and y'all have a great week.